Yeah, I think you're right about that. I was muted. Yeah, so I was saying I'm cataloging some soldiers and having apple juice. What are you up to? Very suspicious. It's imported from Scotland. My favorite kind of apple juice. Those apples only grow in Scotland. The ice is domestic, however. Very domestic. So what are you guys up to tonight? Do you guys collect toy soldiers? I know Adam does. Pretty sure I've seen Adam around on the channel. Do you guys do you collect oh, thanks. Yeah, you watched the of my latest unboxing video. Yeah, I've trying some new stuff with some like different music and some different trying to spice up, you know, unboxings because they can be pretty stale. Trying to bring up retention and that's kind of like the trick. You want to make people click on the video, but you also like gotta retain them so that they can keep watching. And um, there's really only so much you can do with unboxings. You open a box and you see the soldier, right, and then you just move on. So haven't really figured out the formula yet. I'm trying still, building an audience very slowly, but I enjoy it. It's all part of the enjoyment. Do you guys collect? Do you guys collect any particular toy soldiers? Do you like any lines? King and Country, Britain, Thomas Gunn, anything like that? Yep. The enjoyment is, yeah, it's a big part of it. I think you really have to have that in this hobby. You really have to enjoy it. So if any of you guys have seen my videos, can you guys give me some insight on like what parts you enjoy and what where there's some areas where you would like to see some changes, maybe something different, or maybe like some different content that could be covered, something that you might be interested in. That's what I'm really kind of trying to figure out. Because there's some of the stuff that I do, I don't really see anybody else doing. I mean, that not necessarily that that's like a good thing, but it's just it's always interesting to see what people are into. One of the things I wanna explore further is doing more stop motion stuff. One of the next things I want to unbox is I have a whole bunch of Vietnam era figures that I want to unbox, and I want to do a bunch of stop motion with it. And I also have a short in the works with stop motion, and that one might be pretty fun. It's kind of silly. I haven't cut it together yet, but I have the video. I just haven't edited the video yet, but I shot it. Yeah, stop motion's pretty. It's kind of boring to shoot it, but it's fun when you put it together and you edit it. And doing it with you know painted miniatures like King Country miniatures, I think is a really powerful kind of a really powerful story. Let me see if I can actually show you guys what I have so far. And so this is the raw footage, and it's not edited, and a lot of this will be cut. Okay, so I'm gonna minimize this. I'm gonna minimize myself, and I'm going to play the video of what this is. Oh, cool. So you do like the history. The history is one of those things that uh, history is one of those things that I don't know how to incorporate. I don't want to compete with like the big history channels because I don't think I would stand a chance, but history is one of the main things that motivates me about collecting. I really love the history behind. That's why I have my website. That's why I have like a lot of the stuff the videos that I've made about history is because I'm really interested in it. But not everyone is in for it. So again, this video, just a quick setup. It's a stop motion video. There's no sound, and I um, haven't cut this yet. So let's just watch this and see what you tell me and see if the ending makes any sense to you guys. So here we go. So this is supposed to be like like an operations room, and there's like an alarm happening, an alert, and this guy's like, okay, we got to call out to our strike team. And then here's the strike team, and this guy's on the walkie-talkie. He's like, "All right, yeah, I guess we'll go check it out." I'm gonna cut this a little bit because it's kind of a little too long. And then they all head out, and then these guys are talking to each other. It's like, "Ah, what is this? I don't know." I'm gonna do like a pun with like aliens, when they're like, "I hope it's not another bug hunt." Then they all pull into the little courtyard here. All the soldiers pour out, and uh, and then they're all like kind of getting ready. And so I'm gonna add like a bunch of sound effects of like reloading weapons and stuff, and like intense suspenseful music. They're all wondering like what's going on, and this guy, I'm gonna give away the punchline basically. It's a grapefruit, and the whole thing is just basically like all this trouble for grapefruit, and then the guy goes, "Oh my God, come on," and then he just walks away. So that's the whole premise. Yeah, they do take a while. They do take a while to shoot for sure because you're just taking pictures. Uh, and I have like a whole bunch other ones. I have like a list of serious ones I want to do, and then a list of like a bunch of silly ones that I want to do. Because stop motion is inherently silly, right? Like it's not like a hard hitting medium when you're trying to tell a story. So um, just basically. doing something ridiculous, which I think, people want to see ridiculous things. I don't think that people really want to looking for anything serious when they watch stop motion. But yeah, so I have a whole bunch of stuff. Uh, a lot of my footage. I have a lot of. Let me see if I have. This is some movie files of all the stuff that I did. Here's the raw video of the this one. You guys might not have seen the entire. This is the raw footage of the firing range short that I did. And if you guys have seen the short, it's basically a guy shooting his rifle, and then the machine gun goes at it. And then there's a little bit of extra bonus footage that I didn't include in the actual short itself, but this is it. So he's like planking away at the and this is the first time I started doing 12 frames per second, because before I was doing 5 frames per second, and the difference is pretty noticeable. So here, obviously, I don't have the so this is the raw footage of it. This is all the and you're gonna probably see my hand in a couple of these too. And this guy goes, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" He's complaining, and this guy's just planking away. And it just basically destroys the target, and the target falls over, and this guy's like, "Oh my God, what the heck?" He's like, "We got to get out of here." And I didn't include any of this stuff in the I didn't include any of this stuff. But then there's also like an American shooting range video of the guy like reloading and firing, and this guy fires. And I felt like there wasn't really much to add to this with this, so I just never really included it as part of that. Um, yeah, so that was that, and then let's see what other shorts, what other stuff do I have that's like. Yeah, I think that's what ultimately sold that short. I think that and that was just like I did that short on a whim. I didn't really plan that. I just kind of sat down and I'm like, I'm gonna shoot a video of like a bunch of guys just shooting at targets. So that was that. That's how that came to be. And I have, oh yeah, this is another short that I did, Battle of the Bulge. Yeah, so here I was thinking, trying to find creative ways to showcase toy soldiers. This is like super early on when I started the channel. I didn't really know what to do. I didn't even have like a very good lighting setup here yet. But I had some of these figures and I just wanted to showcase them. Yeah. So this is a lot of the raw footage. There's a ton of stuff here. There's also a lot of stuff uh I haven't included in any of my videos. There's a lot of throwaway footage that you know, I record and it just never goes anywhere. Welcome for anybody that's joining. So we have 3 people watching now, which is more than what I expected for tonight because I was just bored and I wanted to catalog some of my soldiers, and I figured I might as well be online talking to some people that like toy soldiers. So here we are. Let's see, what else do we have here? I have a lot of pictures. Took a lot of pictures. This is from, I took pictures from when I did my Battle of the Bulge, when I made my dirt hedgerows out in my backyard. I took a lot of pictures of that, trying to because I cross-post some of this stuff on Facebook. So there's like a toy soldier photography group that I'm a member of, and I like to post every time I do like these setups. I like to post those online and try to uh, try to share that because I think these pictures came out really good. I really like that. Really like this whole. I love this guy. This guy, funnily enough, I gave him away um, in my giveaway when I did my last live stream and giveaway. That's DD188, I think. And I since then I've gotten another one of these guys. I just haven't unboxed it yet. I got him and another really rare Normandy soldier from the First Infantry Division. See, I have. Yeah, this is another cool picture here. Some of the best soldiers that I pick up in eBay deals are just like really obscure, just like random one-offs. Like this guy here, who's a member of Third Infantry Division, and I actually have him here. Let's see, he's right here. Oh, there he is. I just really like this model. This is part of a four-man set, and I only have this guy. And I picked him up in a bundle of like three different guys, just like randoms, like leftovers. And it's just like a really cool model. It's a Third Infantry Division guy. I love finding like cool deals, and this came out nice with the grass here. These German paratroopers. That was one of the earlier series that I really enjoyed. The German paratroopers. I ended up getting a lot of those guys early on. You guys want to see? You guys want to see some more videos, some raw footage of videos that I have, or do you want to see some pictures, or do you want me to go through my catalog maybe? I have a couple of boxes that I could definitely unbox if you guys are in the mood for that. I have some soldiers that I've been dying to unbox. That's why I set up my other camera here. So I have this camera set up. This is my workbench, and I could throw a box on there. We could open up something, take a look at it if you guys want. So type 1 for unbox, type 2 for watch raw footage, type 3 for I don't want to see anything. I just want to leave the stream. So you guys let me know. What are you guys in the mood for? One and two? All right. We got one and two. All right, we'll let Adam take the direction here. I think we'll unbox a guy right now. Here's a guy that I've never unboxed anyone. Well, that's kind of not true. So there's a couple of different armies that I've never really unboxed from. One of them is the Japanese, World War II era Japanese. I've never unboxed a single one. That's going to change. And then the other one is actually two. I haven't unboxed any Marines, any like World War II era Marines. Actually, I did a couple in one of my first like earliest unboxing videos. And those are like the first handful of King and Country soldiers that I got were actually Marines, Iwo Jima Marines. And I got them at a local hobby store, but I haven't unboxed any since. And I have one that I'm going to unbox. And I am going to start a Marine collection as well. But so actually, I have two that I want to unbox. So we're going to unbox a Marine, and then we're going to unbox one other one. I've never unboxed Russians. I unboxed one World War One Russian guard, but I've never unboxed a World War Two Russian, so I'm gonna do it now. So here we go. Stay tuned. Let me find them. Okay, got him right here. All right, here we go. See, is that in view? Let's get these guys out of here. All right, here we go. Trusty red knife. I don't know if I even need it, but we'll see. Oh yeah, there we go. I hate these post office boxes. There's just no good way to open these up. Whatever. I'm just gonna tear it up. Yeah, here we go. All right, so this is RA85. So actually, I got this from Sager's Soldiers, which is one of my favorite, absolute favorite. Yeah, Bill Sager, one of my favorite vendors on eBay. And the awesome thing about them is that if you purchase anything over $100, you get free shipping. So it's if you want to get things that soldiers that are still in production, you definitely got to go with Sager. Oh man, so bent. How did that even happen? All right, what's an easy fix? Here we go. This is RA085. So this is that like the naval infantry guys. Naval infantry. They called them the Black Death. Yeah, apparently these guys were pretty ruthless. Pretty tough hombres. And the Germans even feared them every time they came up against them. They feared fighting them because they knew that they'd be up for a pretty big fight because these guys never backed down. So that'd be nice to get a collection started with them. And then the other guy I wanted to open up is this guy here, a Marine, USMC 061. So we'll set the Russian aside here. This I thought was a pretty good entry into starting like a Marine collection. So this guy is kind of like standing at attention-ish. He's got the fist closed, so that's sort of attention, although his feet aren't really at attention. So he's maybe like waiting to board or some such. Yeah. USMC 061. I don't know how recent this I don't know how high the Marine Corps line goes, but the detail on this I have to say is not as fantastic as some of the other Marines. But we'll see. I haven't accumulated a lot of these, so I'm not really sure what I'm comparing it to. If I'm comparing it to like a later model, I don't know, DD, like D-Day line, I would say um, probably not as detailed as those guys. Let's see, do I have one here? Like I have this guy here. This is DD 185. Like I would say the detail on this paratrooper here is greater. The sculpt, maybe the detail is not the right way to say it, but the sculpt on it is a little bit more refined here, a little bit more complex. I don't know. I mean, but I like the Iwo Jima Marines. I think they're really cool. Really nice models, and they have a very extensive collection too, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, the Marines are very nice. The stuff that I see, the Iwo Jima collection especially, I think is like really nice. That's metal, Javier. Yeah, those are metal, and I think it's tin pieces. So it's like an alloy between lead or yeah, it's like lead. I don't know what tin is an alloy of. I'm totally spacing it. I think copper. Is copper part of tin, or did I play too many RPG games and I just don't know? So Adam and Javier and anybody else that's in here, what do you guys collect any toy soldiers? I know I asked that before, but I didn't really get a reply. Do you guys collect any particular brands or particular soldiers? And while you guys work on answering that, I'm gonna pick something else to unbox. There's one that I've been like kind of waiting to unbox, and it's a oh yeah, this is actually be a good candidate because I don't really know what to do with these guys. I have some plastic soldiers that I wanted to unbox, and I have a Del Prado figure that I've been hoarding for like 2 months, I think. I just haven't been able to figure out what to fit it into. And I do collect Del Prado miniatures as well. I have a pretty extensive collection of Del Prado. I have, I think at this point, about 100 pieces, 100 Del Prado pieces. And I don't know, I really like them. They're sort of like the quintessential toy soldier, metal toy soldier kind of a product. And then I also have toy soldiers of San Diego. Um, and these are World War II figures, and they're either U.S. infantry or Marines. I don't remember what's in here. So let's open these up and see what's in here. Because I actually forgot. I like legitimately forgot what's actually in here. It's just I made myself a note saying that this is TSSD, so Toy Soldiers of San Diego, which was a brand that was recommended to me in the comments by one of the people that watched one of my comparison videos. So let's take a look. Okay. So this looks like Marines, right? I think these are Marines. Okay. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Broken rifle tip, no good. Yeah, these look like Marines to me. Yeah, let's get them all out of here. So it looks like it looks like one guy was wrapped in the bubble wrap, and everybody else was just every man for himself. Here's a medic. So obviously this would not be on Hacksaw Ridge, right? Because he's got a weapon. He's holding a weapon. These look like Marines, right? Yeah, this is like that skinny like Marine backpack, I think. Let's see. Any more giveaways? Yeah, I think these look like Marines. These gators look very army-like, but I think overall this is Marine infantry. Here's a BAR man. And these actually look pretty similar to some of the BMC models, BMC toy soldiers, if you guys know about BMC. So wanted to do a comparison with these and other plastic toy soldiers. And um, I have to say, these are not fantastic. Like if I'm just being honest, right? If I'm comparing them to other plastic soldiers, I don't have my plastic platoon guys handy, and I don't have the Airfix guys handy here. They're here somewhere in the office. But if I have to compare them, I would say not. They're not bad, right? They're better than the regular guys that you usually get. And let me catch up on some messages here. Oh, Adam's been looking for the Prado Days of Gettysburg figures. Okay, only sold in America. I recently found out YouTube blocks all items described as toys from USA eBay sellers. Thanks, UK government. Oh man, that's terrible. And then on the other hand, finally tracked down my last C2 the Prado Sengoku Overlord figures. Oh, only sold in Japan. Oh, interesting. So I didn't realize that these are region locked. Yeah. Yeah. Are you still there, Adam? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I don't know how the advertisements work on this. Like I try to I try to stop them, but um, they just eventually go through. I can only stop them for 10 minutes at a time, and then it doesn't let me stop it. Yeah. Yeah, let me open this Del Prado guy. Since you're into Del Prado. One of the eras that I never really got into is Civil War, but I think it's a fascinating time period. So let's see here. I don't remember what this guy is. Okay, here we go. The suspense. Oh, okay. This is what is this? Um, the Prado. I don't know which. Anyways, we're gonna open this anyway. So pop this guy open. I like to play with my toy soldiers. I don't like to keep them locked away. Okay, let's see. Wow, nice. So this is a. Oh, look at this. A Russian Jaeger from 1812, an NCO. Look at that. And I unboxed a Russian from World War II and a Russian from the Napoleonic times. That's really cool. Awesome. This is a cool model, and the paint on this is actually fairly decent. Yeah, this is really nice, and no damage, no bending on any of the equipment. Even this little plume right here is very well preserved. That's rare. That's really nice. Awesome. Oops. Yeah, that's I really like Del Prado. Del Prado makes really awesome figures. Throw that in the trash. Cool. Let's set this up. Here, I'm gonna take the camera and show you guys all my Del Prado soldiers that I have, and I'm gonna add this guy to the mix. So here he is, and this is the Del Prado shelf. And we're gonna put him, actually, let's put him in the front somewhere. So I gotta pick somebody that's maybe not as colorful. It's a tough pick. I really like all these guys. Well, this guy here isn't. He's from the older Del Prado series, so we'll put this guy in front because he's so nicely painted. So this is this is the Del Prado shelf right here. All across. I try to put all the nicely painted ones up front, And this guy here, this British paratrooper, is from the older series, the older Del Prado series. But I just love British paratroopers. I'm a total sucker for British paras. I think it's maybe I think I was maybe brainwashed by A Bridge Too Far with Sean Connery. All I see is Anthony Hopkins and Sean Connery every time I see British paratroopers. And then this is my Vietnam soldier shelf, which will expand dramatically over the next couple of videos. And then, as well as my World War One shelf, this will expand dramatically as well as time goes on. So I have some Gallipoli guys right here, some Anzacs, and I have more Australians here, and I have one Turkish trooper so far, but there's a bunch that are still in boxes, and I have some Germans from the 13th Bavarian Infantry Regiment, as well as some Scottish Highlanders, some British here, and some more. This is a New Zealander back here, a Russian Guard, um, another Scottish boy right there. And this, I think this is an Australian carrying another wounded Australian. Pretty, yeah, I have, it's a lot of Napoleonics. And this is actually my first horseman. For some reason, I just never got into collecting cavalry. I always found it easier to collect infantry, but a nice cavalry section, but I would probably have to put it on a different shelf. I don't think that I'd be able to. I mean, this shelf is already almost full. Unless I jammed them all together, I don't see how else I could fit all of these different soldiers. And then I have moving on here, I have some. Yep, let's not cover that up. We have Americans and paratroopers. So here's a First Infantry Division. I have some Rangers, and then we have some glider people right here, glider soldiers, and then I have lots of paratroopers here. And that doesn't even include the paratroopers I just unboxed. Actually, there's a couple of them right there, and but most of them are not even in this set. So, and then here we have Germans, lots of Wehrmacht guys and troopers, and then we have winter Germans right there and winter Americans on here, which if any of you saw my Battle of the Bulge video, a lot of these guys are featured in that. And then here I have some British troops and my British paratroopers. I'm trying to find. I think I'm going to do some kind of a stop motion thing with the British paratroopers. Definitely want to do that. That's a lot of fun. They have some very interesting dynamic poses. So yes, I agree. The so Adam says the Del Prado cavalry is lovely, and I agree. Yeah, Del Prado. Honestly, one of the best things about Del Prado is how cheap they are. It's a much cheaper than King and Country. Like a lot of my King and Country figures are sort of like deals. They're deals that I find on eBay. And oh, here's some paratroopers here that I haven't put up yet. And here's the Thomas Gunn figures that I have not yet labeled. So I'll put stickers on these once these are processed, and they'll go up on the shelf. But none of these guys have a sticker yet. And I have some of the. So this is a really rare one here, and you guys I'm sure have seen this in the video. But and then these are the other rare ones that I have to go on the shelf. I have to label them and catalog them, and then they'll go up on the shelf. I got this from my wife for my birthday. She got me an airplane, and this is Douglas Bader, I believe, who is a Royal Air Force pilot. This is a really sweet model. I don't have any airplanes in my collection, So this was really awesome. Yeah. So she knows I'm into toy soldiers and stuff, so she got me all that. That was pretty sweet. And then this is where I shot that little short with the grapefruit. Put this back on here. Yeah, so we unboxed our Marine, we unboxed the Russian guy, and then we have Del Prado guy, which is already on the shelf. So that's pretty awesome. I guess I should probably just pick another guy to open up. Let's see, what else do I have? Okay, this is a good one. I don't really know where to put this one as far as like how to fit it into a video. So this is Africa Corps partials. So World War II Germans. And yeah, let's open these up. Again, I've been hoarding this one for a while, so I don't really remember which partials are in here. I'm just gonna grab my phone so I can keep track of the chat. Yeah, that's a really cool plane, right? Um, let me see. I'm just gonna open up the video so I can read the chat. So I'm not missing the chat. Let me see if I can find this. Here we go. Hangout Live. Turn this down. Okay. There we go. Now I have the chat on my phone, so I can answer questions if you guys have them while I'm doing this. All right, let's open this guy up. So, AK partials. So I like getting partials. Actually, I really love getting partials because this is a really easy way to find very rare pieces. Because usually when people give up their collection or when they sell it or when it gets given away at an estate auction or something like that, they don't really know what partials are worth, so they just kind of either sell them super cheap or they bundle them because they don't understand the relationship that some of these figures have. So they just kind of sell them off wholesale. And it's a really easy way to pick up very rare soldiers. So I'm not sure how rare these are. Like I said, I don't remember what's in here because this box has been sitting on my desk for about a month and a half. So, but it's two guys. It's two guys right here. Let's see. There we go. At least they had the wherewithal to package them nice and carefully. There we go. Oh, this is a prone guy. Okay, yeah, I have this one already. So this one is not super rare. So must have got this at a really good deal. But this is part of AK, oh, I want to say 016, AK 016. Another way that you can also complete full sets is by getting partials. And this one I don't have. So I think this is why I got it. Yeah. I don't know what set this guy's part of. I'm actually really curious now. He looks kind of crazy. He also looks a little cross-eyed. That's funny. Bring him in a little closer. Yeah, he looks a little cross-eyed. He's definitely saying something. Yeah, so this is an Africa Corps soldier with a Mauser. I don't know what set this is part of. I'm really curious about what set this is part of. Put the guys we unbox right there, standing by. Uh, the downside of getting them partial like this is that you don't get the original box most times. You just don't get the box, and if you are if you care about that sort of thing, like if you want to make sure things are mint and you have the box, then this might not be the best way for you to collect pieces. Let's see, what else do we have here in the random pile? I have a random pile. Oh, another Russian. Could open this guy up. Russian. I wow, I go from unboxing zero Russians to unboxing three Russians, counting the Napoleonic guy. So honestly, that I would love to build a Russian army. I would love to build a full Russian army, but they are insanely expensive because they're run at an earlier time. So a lot of the Russian soldiers that were sculpted by King and Country were from an earlier period. So the sets are older and far more rare than any of the uh, any of the other sets, like the Americans, paratroopers, Germans. German infantry is very popular, so it's very abundant on eBay. But Russians are very rare, and the Russian sets that are available on eBay are extremely expensive. Four-man sets, some of them go for as much as like 200, $300, some of them. It's complete insanity. It's like there's no way to RA-72. Is this guy? Did I get two of these of the same guy? What did I open? No, this is RA-85. What's this? Oh yeah, the reloading guy. Yep. Yeah, is the classic Russian tunic thing. Let me bring the light a little closer. Shed some light on this situation here. Yeah. So this is that PPSH submachine gun. If any of you ever played Company of Heroes 2, this will be familiar. This guy looks like one of those shock troopers from the game. They had these kind of like close combat, although shock troopers had armor, had like actual armor that they wore. Shock troops, Russian shock troops, they were devastating, absolutely devastating in close quarters combat. They would, fight house to house, and they were just absolutely merciless. And by the time the Russians got to Germany, after they basically so the German army basically started failing right around the end of 42. At the beginning of 42, when Hitler launched the spring offensive to try to retake ground in Russia, it started out pretty strong. It started out very effectively. Lots of casualties. The Russians took lots of casualties. The Germans took a lot of ground, but then they just started to stall. I think they hit Stalingrad at some point, and the entire army just got bogged down, and it was just downhill from there. It was just there was no saving it at that point, and they lost 250,000 men at Stalingrad, and for many people believe that was the end of that. That was the end of basically the German push. And since then, they were always on the back foot, and they could never regain the momentum. And by then, the Russian army was battle hardened, and they were able to push enough men and material forward and push the Germans out. And at that point, the war was basically unwinnable. And then by the end of 43, they also lost Africa, and the Italian campaign wasn't going well. And by 44, obviously, we had the Allied landings in Normandy, and then the shit really hit the fan at that point. And it was an unwinnable war. Did you guys hear about the new movie with Russell Crowe about Herman Goering? It's called, what was it called? The trial or something like that. It's about the Nuremberg trial, and I just saw a podcast. I just saw the Joe Rogan podcast where he's talking to Russell Crowe about the movie, and I saw some previews of it, and it looked very interesting. I can't wait to see it. I definitely want to see it. Yeah, Nuremberg, exactly. That's what it was called, Nuremberg. Yeah, I can't wait to see that. That's got to be really good. And Russell Crowe is just a fantastic actor, just an unbelievably fantastic actor. Um, And he's one of those guys that can just transform. I don't know if he's a method actor, but he's definitely somebody that can dial into a role and play the part very well. And the preview that I saw of him playing Goering, he had gained some weight for the role. I don't know how much of that is like a bodysuit, but he definitely it looked like he gained some weight for that role, and so he looked pretty convincing. Because I know I've seen footage of what Goering looks like. I'm gonna grab a seltzer, getting a little thirsty here. Oh yeah, my trusty mini fridge. Man, I am just dying to open up some of my World War One guys, and part of it is like I want to open them for. I'm trying to think of like what content I can do for opening them up, and really the only evergreen sources of content that I've been able to figure out so far for the channel has been stop motion and unboxings. But I can't do unboxings forever, right? Stuff's expensive. I can't just keep. Um, yeah, yeah. I haven't seen Exorcist. I haven't seen Exorcist, but he's getting up in years. Yeah, he sure is. That's crazy. I remember when Gladiator came out. What was that? 2002, 2000, 99? When did Gladiator came out? I was in high school, and I remember I watched it with my friends. I went to watch it with my friends. Then I dragged my mother to go to go see it, and then I went to see it by myself a third time. Uh, because I just love, I was obsessed. I'm obsessed with like Roman history as well. I'm a huge Roman history buff. And in another lifetime, I might have been a history teacher just because really love learning about history. I love learning about the Roman Empire. One of my favorite characters in the Roman history is Gaius Marius, who reformed the Roman legions, who basically turned the Roman army from sort of a seasonal peasant army into like a professional army that served on like a lifelong footing. So like the service, so basically the way that the Roman army fought back in the day was everyone was a farmer, everyone tended to the land, everyone was a citizen, right? And you had to be a citizen to serve in the Roman military. But then when there was a war, when there was a conflict somewhere, you you were enlisted in an army. So a general would raise an army, equip the army, and so you go from citizen to soldier. And there was like a fighting season, so you couldn't just go fighting wherever, whenever you wanted. You had to, you had to fight during the fighting season. There was like an actual like springtime or something. Like you can't fight in the winter and you can't fight in the fall because that's the harvest. So you have to be back to harvest your crops so that the capital could eat. And it kind of, it is, I think the Hunger Games are very much inspired by Roman society, right? I'm not the only one that thinks that, right? I'm not crazy for thinking that. But yeah, so so you would go, you fight a campaign, and then you would come back home if you survived, and you go tend to your crops, and and that's that. And then so you were just a part-time soldier, full-time farmer, and then Gaius Marius came along and he reformed basically the entire system. And that happened, God, like around 50s BC, something like that, 30s. I don't remember. I would lie to you if I try to think of a number right now, but it happened sort of in the BC era. And so that turned the Roman army into an actual professional army. So a legionnaire would be a professional soldier. So there was better training, there was better organization. Everything got organized into cohorts and legions. And yeah, and then so Rome had a standing army, so that means they could wage war at any time, anywhere. And yeah, legionaries. The fascinating thing about the legionaries, and I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of this or watched. Anytime I see like a documentary about Roman legions, I watch it. All of my papers in when I was in high school and I was asked to write like a history paper, it was always about the Roman legion. It was either that or like World War II history. So, but one of the fascinating thing about the way that the Roman legion was organized is that all the legionnaires basically functioned in these groups of 8 men. So like squads, it was like squad based. So when you camped, you had these groups of 8 men. I forget the name of the octet, something with an oct, um, and you camped out together. Some of the men were responsible for hunting, other men were responsible for setting up the camp, lighting the fire and cooking the food. And so when you were camped, you rested together, you slept together, you ate together, you joked together. And then when you marched as a full army. So you had your whole kit. And every one of these 8 man groups had like one mule or something to help carry the load of all the equipment. And so because of that, the entire Roman army was completely self-sufficient. So you could carve off a piece of any chunk of the legion, and they would be completely self-sufficient, which was it's just fascinating. Plus all the engineering stuff that all the legionnaires were responsible for building defenses, fortifications, and all that stuff. So that was always it's just a fascinating thing about the Roman legion. What was I talking about though? I was talking about yeah. What am I content? What, what content do I do? I don't know. Unboxings do well, but like I was saying, like it's not really sustainable to do unboxings forever. So I tried doing like some news stuff, trying to find Toy Soldier news, but there's not always a lot of Toy Soldier news. Um, Another universe in pieces. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Yeah, um, yeah, would love to. I have a lot of World War I figures that I have to unbox. So maybe in a little bit here I'll pick like a World War I figure and I'll unbox it. I think that'll be fun. I'm just dying to I want to do like an Anzac special too. I want to do like a special Anzac unboxing. Anzac figures are fantastic. I always think about Gallipoli every time I think about Anzacs. Now, Adam, if you're still here, are you from the UK? Oh, yeah, I think you're from the UK. I think you kind of mentioned that indirectly. How are how are Australians and New Zealanders perceived in the UK? I've always wondered about that because they're sort of allied, right? They're all part of the empire. I don't know how much influence the UK has over those sovereign nations anymore, but I know that the UK always had a strong relationship with Australia and Canada, India, and all of those former colonies. If anybody knows, I have some friends that live in the UK, but well, they live in Scotland actually, and but I'm not. I never got to talk. Love the Aussies and Kiwis, great chaps. Love that. Yeah, the Roman army. Yeah, they performed some heroic deeds at Gallipoli. I don't know a whole lot about the conflict, but King and Country makes the Gallipoli 9 set, which is the Australians. And if any of you have ever seen the movie Gallipoli with Mel Gibson, you can kind of get a picture of what that was like. I don't know exactly how that played out, but my understanding was that and actually Churchill was to blame for that fiasco because I think he recommended the offensive onto Gallipoli. Correct me if I'm wrong. My history might be a little rusty here, but I just recently watched the Churchill documentary on Netflix, and one of the things that he was criticized for was the Gallipoli offensive failing, and everyone basically wanted to pull back out of the Dardanelles because the idea was that the Australian and New Zealand forces would push in from the Dardanelles and create another front against the Germans and isolate some of their allies in that offensive, but it failed because it just kind of turned into a stalemate, and it was kind of like a meat grinding type situation where nobody was making really any progress, and it was just very wasteful. It was just a lot of loss of life for no gains whatsoever to speak of. And eventually, I think everyone pulled back. Of course, the Allies ended up winning the war eventually, but that particular offensive, that particular piece of the grand strategy of the war never panned out. And I think Churchill bore the brunt of that fiasco. And because of that, he basically, his political career disintegrated. And it wasn't until World War II that he sort of became an important figure again because of his resolve and of course he was brilliant in during World War II. Without him, the nation surely would have collapsed. He was he was the figure around which all the people in Great Britain rallied, and he's the one that sort of kept the war going when everything seemed lost. And I think the entire world owes the Great Britain a great debt of gratitude for basically for a long time there. They were just the only ones hanging in the war, and they held on long enough for the Americans to get involved and provide some relief by coming in through Africa, going up into Sicily, and then the Italian mainland. But for a long time, it was just Britain holding the line, and you know that must that I'm sure didn't feel very good. And I remember watching a documentary. Um, yeah, yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, I mean Churchill's plan could have worked, right? I think, but I don't know I don't know the details and the specifics and the mechanics of that particular offensive. But it maybe the offensive wasn't um, maybe it wasn't sufficiently supplied or sufficiently staffed. I don't know what the of course, with trench warfare, um, there's no amount of people you can bring to bear against machine guns and fixed fortifications that could make a difference. So it really is it's kind of a difficult thing to speculate. That World War One in many ways was a um, very kind of it was a revolutionary type of war, revolutionized warfare in many ways. You have the advent of the machine gun, you have the advent of the tank, you have the advent of different types of military tactics. In the beginning of the war, people sort of thought it's going to be shoulder to shoulder, musket versus musket. Um, and then, machine guns completely changed the landscape. Uh, you couldn't just do that anymore. That would have been complete foolishness, marching into machine gun fire. So, yeah, it was an interesting time. But of course, he proved himself as well in the Boer War. Um, he performed with distinction there, and he sort of had he had that like movie style escape from captivity, which was publicized greatly at the time. So he was portrayed as this sort of poet, warrior poet personality, and he became hugely popular in the UK, and that's what sort of gave him notoriety in World War One, and then his career suffers, but then he comes back in World War Two and becomes one of the most influential figures in human history. Is able to convince Roosevelt to join the war, which makes you think what would have happened if Pearl Harbor never happened, right? If America never got involved in the war, what would have happened? How long could have Britain hung on? What would have happened? There's many scenarios that I think about a lot. If they had played out differently, what would have happened? For example, if Hitler just kind of, if he took over Poland, the Czech Republic, and maybe parts of Russia, small parts of Russia, he took France, Belgium, Holland, Scandinavia, that whole, if he just had taken that part, and if he had not performed a full-scale invasion into Russia, because the world wasn't ready to really fight him at the time, right? Nobody was ready for what was coming. He had the most motivated, most highly modernized, most well-equipped army at the time because nobody was really prepared to defend against what he brought to the field. Um, but it makes you wonder what would have happened if he didn't attack Russia, if he didn't do Operation Barbarossa, if he didn't go in all in on the Russian front, because that's really where the war was lost, if you think about it. It wasn't until, and then, Normandy was the killing stroke, if you will. But the German army was ground down on the Eastern Front. That's where most of the killing and most of the fighting happened. So if that hadn't happened, you have to wonder what would have happened if 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 they never attacked Russia. If Russia never got involved in a war, Germany would have had millions of soldiers available to fight in other fronts or to simply occupy what they had conquered and just stay put. Oh, look at this. We have a celebrity in the channel. James Viola. How you doing, man? I'm just doing a little history lesson here on World War II. I uh, I unboxed a couple of soldiers, and now we're talking about World War II history. I'm talking about what would have happened if Hitler never invaded Russia. Yeah, so that's what I wonder oftentimes. I wonder if would would the war have continued? How would it have continued? Would people sort of rally and fight back and retake the conquered land? Or would they just say, "Oh, well, we don't want to poke the bear. We'll just stay put and, we'll just kind of hang back." Um, yeah, it's interesting. Airfix paratroopers. What kind of paratroopers? German or American? I don't know how you have the patience. You modeling people with the painting. I don't know how you have the patience to clean, like, scrape the little mold lines and, do all that extra stuff. I don't know how you guys. I don't know, guys, how you guys have the patience for that. I did that when I did like. Um, oh, James, you might appreciate this. Let me get something real quick. I have my Warhammer 40K figures, and I never really showed these on the channel, but I want to show you what some of them look like, and you can kind of give me an honest critique of some of my earlier work. All right, here we go. Found them. I have two cases. I have some Imperial Guardsmen, and I'm going to show you some of the better pieces that I have. Some of the better pieces that I have, and you let me know. So I'll show you what I think is my best piece. This is my, let me see, can you see? Okay, my hand is right there. This is my Iron Hands Iron Father. Uh, There we go. Let's see if I can get more light on here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so this guy, I modified this guy. I added a jetpack here. I clipped this weapon. He used to have a different weapon. I added an axe and turned it into like a power axe or something like that. And I gave him like a cool different paint job. Obviously, this is very simple as far as like the paint job, but I added some like blue highlighting and some shading down there to give it like this kind of like power. I don't know what edition this is, honestly, because this model is like 20 plus years old. This is like, I mean, I probably more than that, honestly. Um, yeah, this is when I decided to build an Iron Hands army. And then I have this guy, which unfortunately broke off, but this is supposed to be like a veteran sergeant. God, I forget how tiny these guys are compared to like King of Country models. It's like hilarious. Look at this. Oh my God. 2002. Yeah. Yeah, I started around that time too. I started around 2002. I was in high school when I started collecting Warhammer. And I played. I was terrible at the actual game. I always got my butt handed to me, but um, I I just enjoyed the models. And then I and this army I never really fielded, but I had an Imperial Guard army to begin with, but I started experimenting with different paint jobs and different camouflage patterns, and I'm going to show you in just a second. And these are not fantastic, but this was sort of like my attempt to have like Imperial Guardsmen with different color. I really like the green color scheme the most. This one here came out kind of shiny, so I wasn't really not a fan of how shiny that turned out. And I like this basic kind of drabby kind of beige color scheme. These aren't really any armies in particular that I um, why is this? There's not enough light here. Here we go. This is better. Yeah. So here's a plasma guy. This is a melta gun and lace rifles, and here's is a grenade launcher. Yeah. So that was my yeah. Yeah, the beige is nice. You know, obviously I didn't do a very good job because the problem with Imperial Guardsmen is there's so many that you really can't commit to like at least I could never commit to like a super complex paint job because it just takes so long. It just takes so long to paint them. I don't know how, you know, I used yeah, I used the old Citadel, I think, where Citadel paints. Yeah, the Citadel made those old I still have some of them. Miraculously, they still work. And one of my favorite things to do was to paint older models in newer patterns. So I did something like this, for example, like this like weird kind of tiger stripe pattern on this very old Cadian infantrymen. I never did faces because it's just too much. Oops, nice. Uh, Dropped them. But yeah, I used to love this guy was painted differently, and then I just painted over him with this new pattern. I don't know. I always loved the kind of colonial Marine Corps paints, colonial Marine Corps patterns. I had a friend of mine who did an entire Imperial Guard army as colonial Marines from Aliens. Yeah, and he modified every single last rifle to look like a plasma rifle from Aliens. And I don't know how long it took him, but he converted he found like a model of those APCs from Aliens and converted it into like an Alien style APC. And yeah, and that's what he used as Chimera transports. So that was really cool. I love that. So James, do you and Adam, do you guys collect Warhammer miniatures? I know James, obviously, you do a lot of that stuff, but um, do you guys collect and still play Warhammer? I haven't seen a whole lot happening in that. I mean, oh, dude, Starship Troopers is so cool. Oh my God, you gotta show me some of those guys someday. Make a video about. Did you do a video about that? Because if not, that's you got to do that. Okay, I gotta look at that then. I must have missed it. But yeah, I love Starship Troopers. Absolutely love Starship Troopers. That whole aesthetic is so cool. Such a sweet universe. I wish that they continued going with like the you know, high budget stuff for like a sequel, but all they had was like B movie sequels. And I think that universe has so much potential. Oh, they're rebooting it. Wow. That should be worth a watch. What Army Men painted them as Starship Troopers? Okay, I will definitely watch that. Thank you for that. Which soldiers? Okay, you paint 3D printed statues. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, if you guys like 3D printed, let me show you guys something. Let me see. Oh, dig up my plastic bucket of mixed stuff. I don't know if they're in here or not. Uh, I don't think so. Maybe. I 3D printed a bunch of soldiers, and I can't find them now, unfortunately. But there's some really cool ones on. I don't know if you guys use like Bamboo Labs. Bamboo Labs printers have really good, are really good. I have a friend who's an engineer, and he kind of hooked me up with a really good printer for that kind of stuff. Um, Anyways, I'm not gonna waste any time on that now. I can't find them, but yeah. And what was that? What was the toy line that makes those guys that you painted them with? 'Cause I'm always looking for like interesting toy soldiers. There's actually those Three Otters makes those like little army men. They look kind of Starship Troopery. They're like they're supposed to be, I think, like modern infantry, but Yeah, they make the three otters. They're like a smaller scale. I think they're like almost like a 135 scale maybe. Um, when I bought them, I was a little disappointed with how small they were because I wanted to do some stop motion stuff with them, and but they're just so tiny. They're like, like literally this small. Can't really do a whole lot with those. While we wait though, I think I want to unbox another another figure. So I'm gonna go find one to unbox. Let's see what I have here. Yes, we have that, and then we have this right here. Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay, this is a mix. Three guys in here. So let's pop these guys open. Leonard Core. Oh, interesting. Leonard Core. All right, I'll have to look at those guys. All right, here we go. Let's pop these bad boys open. So this is a mix box, and um, yeah, I didn't know where to include them. I'm gonna change the lighting around a little bit here. I'm not sure why the lighting is so bad right now. Um, let's do this. I think it's because I don't have my, let's try this. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Rub a dub dub. Bring the light closer. Sorry, bear with me, guys. Just trying to improve the lighting a little bit. Make it a little brighter for the box. Hold on, hold on. Okay. Hoping that's a little better. Let's see, what does that look like? Yeah, that looks decent. I think that looks decent. Okay, here we go. Trusty red knife. Let me get this box out of the way. Oh, hey, wait a minute. The last AK Partials box had another figure in there. I didn't even realize that. All right, well, let's see what's in here. Let's see what was hidden away. I had a feeling there was a third guy here. Can't believe I didn't notice it. Big mystery, big mystery. What do we have? Oh, I already have this guy. Man, I was hoping for something a little bit more rare, but this is part of AKO 16. AKO 16, I believe. Let me get the guy. Yep, AKO 16. Here we go. Hans and Franz over here. All right, well, it's a partial, and I believe I got all three for a very low price. So, like I had mentioned before, like it's a very good way to collect pieces is to simply buy partials, because then you can put sets together that way without paying the full set price. Okay, we have three boxes in here, I believe. Nope, just two. Really? Why did I must have, oh, I took one out of here. That's right. I remember now. Because it didn't fit. All right, so here we have DD322. So this is D-Day. This is a late model. Oh, yes, the medic. This is a medic. Cool. Yeah, this is the medic that's running. Oh, how do I pull this guy out without breaking him? Nice. Yeah, this is a Ranger medic. Awesome. This is my first medic piece. And I have a stop motion idea that I want to use him for. I do have to say, I'm not thrilled with the paint job. Um, oh, hey, look, it's Ronald McDonald, the winner of the last giveaway figure. How's that figure treating you, by the way, Ronald? And Ronald's real name is I'm just gonna say it's Andy, and I won't reveal any more than that. Yeah, I saw James. I saw that you're doing. I saw that you're doing. You're gonna try selling figures that you're gonna paint yourself, and one of the things that you were saying is you were you were trying to figure out how to make the pricing work because you had commented saying that um, you were wondering how King and Country does it because at the price and the amount of painting that they do, you wonder how they can make that work. But I have a feeling, like I mentioned in the comment when I responded to you, is I'm sure labor in Hong Kong is fairly cheap, so they can probably get that stuff painted relatively cheap over there. Um, FW197Q. So this is a Queensland Australian infantryman from the Queensland Infantry Regiment. Oh, this is the Lewis gunner. Sweet. So it looks like it's mint in box. Look at that shiny jacket. Is that supposed to be body armor? Do you guys know? The jacket looks like a leather tunic. Oh, a winter tunic. Interesting. Oh, there you go, Lewis gunner. Um, I just started watching Peaky Blinders for the first time. I've never watched it before, and one of the premises of the first season is that they stole a shipment of um, Lewis guns, 25 Lewis guns, and it just made me think of of, the World War One King and Country figures. Yeah, yeah, the gun definitely defeated the purpose of of armor, heavy armor, because there's nothing practical that you could put on. Well, I guess there's bulletproof vests now, but even that is like very expensive to produce en masse for infantry. But for specialized infantry, probably you could pull that off. I would say it's probably doable. But yeah, James, I don't think you have to. I don't think you should compete with King of Country. I think you'll paint your figures probably much better. And the comment that I was gonna make about like that medic that King Country makes. So I love all the King Country figures, but I think the paint job on the Rangers in particular is kind of weak, honestly. When you compare it to some of the other lines that they offer, um, I think they're just not as good, and they're not really using like dry brushing techniques and inking and stuff like that. They're not really doing that for a lot of these. Some lines are particularly well made, and others I feel like are just a little bit weak. And maybe that's just the color pattern for the soldiers, for the uniform. But I don't know. It seems like they could probably just do more. But again, they're producing in much greater quantities than you probably will. So I think you probably will be able to paint in more detail. What kind of soldiers are you going to be selling? what kind of soldiers are you painting? Is it like airfix? Is it different types of, and do you have like different price points? And is it all like 132 scale? I think you mentioned it was 132 scale. By the way, I'm doing a diorama competition. A diorama competition. And to participate, all you have to do is go to my website and go to the forum and post pictures of your diorama. It can be literally anything. And the deadline for this is December 15th, and I will at that point select a winner. So all you got to do to participate is just go on the website and post something on the forum. It's 5 pictures of your diorama. You could already have it made. You can make a new one. It just has to be your own. And you post 5 pictures, and I will select the winner. The deadline is December 15th, but depending on participation, I might extend that a little bit. It's kind of hard to get people to do stuff online, so I might give it more time. I just don't want to get too close to Christmas, because people are going to be busy with other stuff. They're not going to want to build dioramas for some silly little YouTube channel. So, but if you're interested in doing that, and if you have a diorama, I know James, you have some, so um, you have some dioramas. So go to the website and just post some pictures of your dioramas and like a short description of what it is. And no, it can be whatever you want it to be. It can be any scale, any figure. It's operationtoybox.com, and there's a link up in the navigation to go to the forum. The forum is pinned, so you can just go there and just post something. And to participate, you don't have to subscribe, you don't have to like or do any of that stuff. You just literally go to the website and you just post something on there. I'm trying to drive some traffic to that website so I can keep kind of like the conversation going for people posting pictures of their soldiers or their collections or stuff like that. I really would like to get the conversation going there. I think that'd be really cool. What is your guys' favorite era for toy soldiers? Do you guys like World War One, World War Two, modern, Napoleonics? I know Adam likes Gettysburg stuff, so he likes the Civil War stuff. Um, Andy, aka Ronald McDonald, I know you like American troops. James, I don't know what you like. You like all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I have a Discord. Um, Revolutionary War. Oh, interesting. Yeah, yeah, that's the problem. I really also love. I really do love everything as well. I do love Napoleonic War. I love World War One, World War Two. I love Vietnam era conflict. I love modern stuff too, and I like the Roman stuff. Problem is, I just kind of zeroed in on World War One and Two and Vietnam, and um, but I like to collect these because I want to do a lot of stop motion with that stuff. So yeah, Romans are great. Romans are really cool. I would love to collect a Roman army. It'd be really tough to do. So I always look at it through the lens of like, what can I do for the channel with the soldiers? And I feel like you can do a lot with World War II and World War One figures, but it's hard to do hand-to-hand combat with stop motion with metal toy soldiers. I don't know if I could pull that off. It would just be like, two guys meeting and then one would just fall over. I don't know what I would do with that. Uh, but since you guys kind of joined late, I want to show you guys and I'm sorry, Adam, you've already seen this, but I want to show these guys the little short. Uh, so I made another short stop motion movie that I haven't finished editing yet, and I'm planning to edit that. And so I'm gonna let you guys watch. I'm gonna let you guys watch this. Let me just find the where is it? I'm gonna let you guys watch this video. This is something I recorded a couple days ago, and it is right here. One second. Yes. And of course I have to, sorry, let me just adjust this. There we go. Move this out of the way. All right. You guys ready for this? This is some exciting stuff. And this is meant to be like a funny short. So here we start in the um, operations room, and they're talking, and there's like, oh, there's problems in Sector 12. It's like, oh, Sector 12? Well, we got to send the strike team over there. Hey, so and so, call in the strike team. And this guy's like, hey, man, you got to go check this out. Something happening in Sector 12. And then we pan over to the strike team. I'm going to cut this down to probably, this is a minute, a little over a minute of footage. I'm going to cut this down to about 30 seconds, I hope. And then they're all right over. And this guy's talking like, "Hey man, do you know what this is about?" And then the other guy goes, "I don't know, man. I hope it's not another bug hunt." And then they get to the base. They get to Sector 12. All the soldiers pile out, and here's Sector 12, the door, and the door opens, and all these guys are lined up. This is big, serious business over here. Everyone's like cocking their guns and getting ready for war. And this guy's like intensely staring. There's going to be intense, like suspenseful music. Everyone's loading their guns and getting ready, and this guy's like, "What is it?" And then it's a grapefruit. And the whole thing is just like the guy goes, basically the premise. It's supposed to be completely stupid. The guy basically goes and like, "Please don't be a grapefruit. Please don't be a grapefruit." And then it's a grapefruit, and he goes, "Oh, come on!" And then he just walks off the screen, and that's the movie. So. I want to make a bunch of like um, a bunch of silly like uh, bunch of silly stop motion videos about nonsense basically. I love grapefruit. Do you guys like grapefruit? I used to my favorite thing to do was for many years before going to bed I always had two grapefruits. And then I got older and then I realized that's not a good idea because then you get up to pee a lot. But yeah, I love me some grapefruit. Put salt on it. Come on, what are you talking about? Get out of here. Oh, is it? Oh, I knew they're good for you because it's got like the vitamins and minerals and whatnot. But I didn't know it's good for your digestion. I know some people can't tolerate it because of what is it, linoleic acid or something like that. Oh, you put sugar on them. I can't do sugar on grapefruit. It ruins it for me. The more acidic, the better for me. That's what I like. I like it to hurt. I want it to be really like I want it to dissolve my teeth. I just want it to go bananas. We all like what we like, right? I know a lot of people eat strawberries with sugar, for example, or you can eat strawberries with like whipped cream. That's like a big thing. I remember when I used to live in Germany, um, when I lived in Germany, a lot of the food there, it's crazy. I used to eat just insane amounts. I was a teenager in Germany. I was like 15 and a half when I left Germany and I came to the States. But up to that time, I used to just eat whatever the hell I wanted. I ate chocolate all the time. I'm in New Hampshire now, and I never gained any weight at all. And then I came here and continued eating the same way and I started gaining weight. So it's really, oh, so you're pretty close. Nice. I have a friend that lives in New Jersey, actually. Uh, what's that place called with the college? Princeton, like right around Princeton somewhere. Used to play World of Warcraft with him. We became real life friends. We had like a little party. I went to visit him and some other friends there from our guild. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Did you guys ever play any video games? Do you play any video games now? I haven't played. I've been like in YouTube land for the past like 2 months. Oh, you played WoW. That's awesome, man. I still have an account. I just haven't played in months. I most recently I played Classic, and before that I like to PvP on retail. I know I'm a glutton for punishment. But that kind of stopped being enjoyable, and I stopped and I played WoW. I played Classic WoW, the anniversary server that came out, and that was a lot of fun. Oh, Magic, that's cool. Yeah, I have a computer from '93, but my dad threw it away in 2000. That is the most boomer story I've ever heard in my life. Andy, you can get a computer. You can get a computer now. Yeah, see, James, I'm in the same boat, man. Like when I started doing this YouTube thing, I haven't played a single video game. I've just been like full time doing YouTube stuff and yeah, just trying to do something with this thing. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but I'm definitely trying to yeah. Yeah, I mean it depends on what kind of video games you play, right, Adam? Because I think yeah, there's a lot to YouTube for sure, and I'm just working daily on unpacking it. But Adam, it depends on what kind of games you play, right? Like I don't play first person shooters, for example, like that, like stuff like Fortnite. Like forget about it. Like that stuff is it's just noise. I like strategy games. I like um, yeah, I would love that, James. I would definitely love that. I hit up. Well, let me finish my point about Adam. So I play strategy games. I love to play. For example, I play Company of Heroes. That's one of my favorite strategy games. And then, of course, you don't need any skills really to play WoW. Like you can play WoW at any level, at any age. I remember oh my God, back in 2006 or 7 when I really got into WoW, when I was playing like in vanilla WoW. Yeah, Company Heroes is fantastic. Um, and StarCraft 2. Oh my God, StarCraft 1, Diablo 2, Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction was my high school years. That's all I did during high school, is StarCraft and Diablo. That's all I knew. That's all I ever cared about. That's all I did. Um, And Adam, I had friends in my guild back in 2006 when I played WoW. One was 65 and the other one was 72. One was a priest, the other one played a hunter, I believe. And some of the coolest people I ever met. You know, that's the great thing about meeting people in WoW. Like, if you especially meet some older people, some older folks, they're usually the friendliest, most patient, most wonderful people to be around because they just don't have time for nonsense. They don't do drama. They just want to play the game and they just want you to leave them the hell alone. So, definitely, if you enjoy it, find a game that fits your style. And ancient, Challenge of the Ancient Empires. What is that? Is that a game? Floppy disks. Oh my God. What are you even talking about? I remember floppy disks. Was it the 2-inch floppy disks or like the big like dinner plate floppies, like the five and an eighth or whatever that format was? Oh, so you played like some old school stuff, man. Jesus. James, before I forget, man, email me at operation.toybox1@gmail.com. I wanna chat with you 101 about some YouTube stuff. If you ever have the time, toybox1@gmail.com. That's my email. That's the email that I use for this channel. Um, yeah, if you guys ever want to chat with me about anything, if you have any content suggestions or anything that you want to see, um, you know, hit me up. I'm always down to try new stuff on the channel, and I definitely always want to do whatever the audience is up for. And so far, the only thing I've figured out and learned is that Warframe. Why does that sound familiar? I don't know what Warframe. What is Warframe? That's like a sci-fi game, right? It's like robots. I gotta look this up. Let's do some juggling. Warframe. Some juggle. Here we go. Do some juggles here. Let's do some internet browsing. Warframe. Oh, this is what is this stuff? Let's see. Oh, this is crazy looking. Oberon. No coal. So what is Warframe, Adam? Tell us about Warframe. Deep Mines. Is it a, let's see, about. Okay. So this looks like an RPG game from what I can tell so far. Third person sci-fi co-op shooter. Interesting. Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that arrangement of words. Sci-fi co-op third person shooter. So I love any of you guys play Helldivers? That's my most recent addiction. Although I haven't played it in a few months, like I said, I haven't touched any games, but Max 2. All right, let's check out Max 2. That's not it. What? Sure, it's not this. Oh man, you gotta play some Helldivers, dude. You gotta play some Helldivers. I oh I it's honestly like it's addictive in a good way. You can put it down. The way that I basically play it is the way that I play Helldivers is I get my fix and then I just stop, right? Like I'll just take a break and then I'll get my fix again and you just need a couple games to kind of keep you going. You don't need to stay on it all day. I'm not good at grinding games anymore. I can't sit there and just play. The only game I can do that with is WoW because there's a lot of mindless stuff you can do in WoW. You can just literally just go fishing in WoW, right? And you can just do that all day. Or you can go do battlegrounds, or you can do dungeons, or whatever. Whatever your poison is in WoW, you can just do that mindlessly forever. Yeah. Yep. You need a game when you poop, man. I've been saying it for years. Been saying it for years. Yeah, Helldivers is good fun. Especially since you mentioned Starship Troopers, James. Helldivers is going to be right up your alley. I might do like that might actually be kind of fun doing like a stream, doing like a Helldivers stream or something like that. I think that that would be interesting. Like I don't even know what to call it. Like a yeah. Yeah, WoW is like that. Old WoW is like that. Well, retail is kind of like that too, but like the main distinctions between retail and classic is that classic is balanced around the community, whereas retail is balanced around the individual and your individual needs of what you want to do. And I hope you all understand the difference of what I say classic and retail. Classic is the reboot of Vanilla WoW, the original WoW that came out in 2004, and retail is the current WoW game. I have a PC. I use it. Well, I had to disconnect my PC. I have two workstations in this office, so I don't live in this house. This is a spare apartment on one of my properties, and I come here just to do YouTube stuff, and I don't live here. But I had set up an office here where I have like my workstation where I'm at now, and then I next to that I had like a PC station with more monitors just for PC stuff. And um yeah, it really is a man cave. And I'm sure you guys have seen it in my videos like you sometimes span. I have exercise equipment in the next door. So I come here to work out too. So this is like my little like leave me the hell alone fortress of solitude. I'm here just huddled between all my toy soldiers, just breathing in the lead fumes and then exercising from time to time. Um, but you gotta have that. You gotta have that peace. You gotta have that serenity, place of serenity. Um, I have four kids, so there's not a whole lot of private places that I can go to uh, for to do the things that I enjoy. I gave up all my hobbies when I got married, actually, because I used to do a lot more video games. I used to do Warhammer stuff. I used to do all kinds of different types of collecting. I also love Legos, so I have a bunch of Lego sets that got destroyed. So they're just like in boxes. I have like an AT-ST, an AT-AT. Um, I have a Millennium Falcon that I haven't put together yet. I also have the Optimus Prime Transformer, the Lego Optimus Prime that I haven't put together yet. Would love to do that. A 5-year-old, and it's like having a farm. Yeah, yeah. My oldest daughter is 5 years old. Oh, you got your wife into Lego? Oh man. See, my wife actually does like Lego. She actually does like Lego, and we did do Lego together before. We put together, what did we put together? I think we actually put the AT-AT together. Yeah, well, they were almost 4 under 4. Yeah, almost. I missed it by 3 months. I have a 5-year old that turned 5 this year in July, and Andy, I used to have a rabbit. I love that. Uh, yeah, a 5-year old and then a 3-year old that'll be turning 4 in January. Then I have a 2-year old, and then I have just turned 1-year old on my birthday, born November 7th, which is also my birthday. So um, that birthday no longer belongs to me. That is now my son's birthday. And that's fine because, after 40, birthdays are not as fun anymore. It just reminds you how decrepit you are. Um, the other day, I threw out my back from sleeping, and this is not a joke. I know that this is. All right, good night, Adam. Turning 40 in May. Um, yeah, I actually threw my back out sleeping. It was a month ago. I woke up and I was like, why does my back hurt? All I did was sleep. I didn't do anything. Yeah, that actually happens. It's not a joke. It can actually, it's not just like a stand-up routine. But yeah, so don't get old. If you ever have the choice, just don't get old. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. I used to love to play soccer. That was the thing I used to love to do. I try to stay active. I still exercise as much as I can. Yeah. Yeah, the neck is a big one. Every time I do anything with my shoulders, I somehow end up injuring my neck. Any kind of exercise with shoulders. It's just silly. It's just silly how many things can go wrong when you're just trying to exist. It's like I'm just trying to live my life, bro. I'm just trying to exist. Can I just not pull a muscle while eating a piece of chicken? Can that just be a thing? You know? But no, it's not. It's not possible. Kidney stone at 19. Jesus. How does that happen? Yeah, I mean, yeah, see, you're just literally you're moving a brush that weighs like what, an ounce? Not even? You're throwing your neck out. I mean, that's what is that? That's not a thing. That can't be a thing. How do you live like that? What do you do with that? See, I messed up my back because I was being an idiot. And I went to the gym and trying to do a workout after not work. I hadn't worked out for like 8 months, and I tried to lift weights, thinking that I could still lift the same amount of weight as I did before, and I destroyed my back. I herniated a disc, L4, L5, and it hurt so bad the following day that I couldn't get out of bed, and that had never happened to me before. And my wife, who is uh, uh, she used to be an ER nurse, and nothing phases her. Like she could literally watch somebody explode or whatever, and she just like, oh, we'll just put a little pressure on this, and he'll be fine. Um, but no, like she looked worried. Like I was in so much pain that I tried to get up out of bed, and I fell back into bed, and I was basically useless for about a year. Like that's how long it took me to recover from this. And it's my back has never been the same since, and it turned out that I have like a bulging disc now, and then the disc below that apparently is like non-existent, and I never even knew about that. I never knew that that's a thing. But yeah, the first time that I actually had a real back injury, so I was 36, I think, or 37. and that destroyed my back. But I've strengthened it since. I've been lifting. I lifted weights, and I did proper stuff. But um, yeah, yeah. I'm kind of in that boat. About 2 times a year for me. It's been a little bit less frequent now that I've started actually like lifting weights and exercising regularly. Strengthening the muscles makes you a little bit less injury prone. Um, oh, and James you dislocated your shoulder doing something similar 18 years ago. Yeah, try throwing a big boy weight. Yeah, yep, that's what happens. Us boys, we just think we can just go into the gym and start manhandling weights, and it just never works. It just never works well for us. It's never a good plan. Never a good idea. Don't lift without a spooter. All right. On that note, I'm gonna go get a quick apple juice in a bottled apple juice. Just gonna grab an apple juice here. You know, that's what people drink. People drink apple juice. I can find it. There we go. Oh man, what kind of apple juice are you guys drinking? Tasty apple juice. Yeah, I can tell. I can tell, Andy, that you love apple juice. I just have that feeling about you. I just feel that you are an apple juice connoisseur. An apple juice connoisseur. My favorite apple juice comes from Scotland. Scottish apple juice is my favorite. Martinelli's. What is that? Yeah. So Ronald slash Andy. So I'm sure most of you guys don't know this, but Andy won the giveaway um, the last time I did a live unbox, and he won. Yeah, you love orange juice too. Yeah. Now I'm wondering if Andy actually means apple juice, because of course I mean apple juice too, right? Yeah. But anyways, so Andy won the contest, and he gave me the mailing details and all that stuff to ship, and I went to my local place and I gave him the details, and it's like, all right, it'll be there in a week. And then 4 days later or 3 days later or something like that, I get an email with a tracking number saying that the package was delivered. And I'm like, okay, that was fast. Why did that happen? So I go on the thing and I type in the address. I don't click any links in the email because I was a little suspicious about it at first. But I go there and it's a Royal Mail website, and the website says that my package was delivered in another place, not where it was supposed to go. So I'm like, that's odd, but it still ended up, at least it ended up in the same country, right? But it's not in the town. It's not in the correct place. And so I actually called, yeah, yeah, exactly. And so that was really weird. And I'm like, oh my God, how do I get this package back? Like, this is a really valuable package. I don't want it to just end up getting lost. Like, how do we get this back? So I had a back and forth with Andy. We are trying to figure out like where this what happened, where this where this all went wrong. And I contacted my local office, and the guy did like an internal tracking on the package and said, yeah, this hasn't been delivered yet. Like, so I'm like, okay, so I got scammed basically. Luckily, no harm, no foul. Nobody lost anything. Nobody lost any information. But they, that's another way. I don't even know what the end goal was. Like, what are you getting out of this? Out of telling me that my package is delivered? I guess like maybe if I had clicked on something and filled out a form or paid more money or something for like a redelivery fee or something like that, maybe they could have got something out of me that way. But I don't know. Like I don't know what they would get out of that. Yeah, it's a phishing. Yeah, it's a standard phishing scam. Oh yeah, they want my money for sure. I worked in the last 10 years. I worked as a software developer, and pretty much every year, well, more than every year, there's like phishing scam training. Like you always undergo that. Like when you work at any company, uh, you undergo like that kind of training. You undergo yeah, the phishing scam training and all that stuff, and it's always very creative. Like the types of shit that people come up with to try to get your money or your information is like some really creative stuff. Just stuff I would have never ever considered. Hmm. Yeah, the ransomware stuff is brutal too. But that like I mean it's been years, decades since I've actually even considered clicking on anything that is, ransomware or like viruses. Like I remember when I was younger, I would get viruses on my computer just like trying to download games and stuff, because you just never know back then. Back then it was the Wild West with the internet, like in the early 2000s, late 90s. No colleague my pitching, yeah. That's how they get you, man. It's like the social uh yeah. Yeah, sorry, Andy. I can only hold them for so long. The advertisements, I can only hold them for so long, and then uh, they at some point I can't stop them. Um, yeah, I was gonna look something up. What was I gonna look up? I have this like fruit fly in here, and I have no idea why. There's nothing but metal toy soldiers in here. Like, what are you eating? What are you living off of? There's like nothing to eat here. There's like two plants. Freaking fruit flies. This is apple juice, by the way. It's apple juice. Nothing to see here. Apple juice. So, Ronnie McDonnie. Yeah, premium is good. If you have, I actually, so my main account has premium, and I included this account into my family plan, which is really awesome. I highly recommend that. And that way you don't get the advertisements. So that way I can. So James, tell us a little bit about your journey into YouTube. Why did you start doing YouTube? Really curious because your channel is actually one of the first channels that I noticed when I started doing this stuff. Um, and like, how long have you been doing this for? And like, it's awesome because like you always have, there's never anything that you can't paint, right? Like, there's endless amounts of content for you to choose from to paint. The only hard part is you actually have to be good at painting stuff, right? Um, And there's some pretty stiff competition out there with painters. Nice. So you've been doing this for 3 years. Did you have like a video? This is one of the things that I always wonder is like I see people because you have like something like 50,000 subs. Did you yeah, yeah, Warhammer painters are insane. Did you actually have like a video go viral or something? Like how do you get to because like trying to do the math on like 50,000 subs in 3 years, I'm like at my current rate that's never gonna happen. Okay, lots of shorts have gone viral, yeah. I had one short that did well so far. And by well, I mean it got 37. All right, good night, Andy. Thanks for showing up, man. Appreciate it. I have one short that did all right. It got 36,000 views, which is not a lot, but it's like the most that I've ever gotten on a short. So, and I could see how like what I'm really curious about. This is actually I'm super curious about this. What is the average retention and watch times that you get on your long form videos? Like videos that are like like, 20 minutes or more. Or do you have videos that are 20 minutes or more? I know you have like long form videos where you paint like dioramas and stuff. Yeah, my long form stats suck far worse than yours, I'm sure, but I'm curious about people that are in this and they're more successful. What what do your stats look like? Because I struggle with retention and average watch time a lot. Um, so like what is your like I mean, feel free to just answer this in email if you want. Don't feel like you have to share anything, but I'm just curious, like, what is the average retention? What is the average? Because now that I've kind of learned what the stats actually do on YouTube, I'm really curious about how other people experience this stuff because the averages for these things are very, very different. For example, I'll share what I have right now. So I released a video earlier today, and it's been a while. I had a crazy hectic week. I got sick. I had like a 12-hour, I had that norovirus. So I was like out cold for like a whole day. And then I had a whole bunch of stuff to catch up on. And so I meant to publish a video on Wednesday and that just never happened. So I like pushed it off. Yeah, yeah, it was just awful, for a little while and then you just kind of get over it. But like so I finally released that video today. It was that unbox with the airborne. And I had right now, it's only sitting at like 533 views, and it's got 33 likes. It's got an 8.2 click-through rate, which I guess is not terrible. And then the average watch duration is 5 minutes and 35 seconds. Yeah, I don't know. I had some videos do well that shouldn't have done well and confused me. And well is a relative term for because I'm a small channel, right? So I don't have like any breakout hits or anything. But yeah, my stuff is less than 30% too. That's what I get. And some of the stuff some of the stuff dips super low, but only after it runs for a while. Like the algorithm will push it for a couple days. Yeah. Yeah, it's the sticking around. Yeah, like I Like I feel like my thumbnails aren't great, but they're okay, right? The thumbnails are okay. I haven't quite figured out the formula for how to make them super clickable yet, but uh, it's just like getting them to stick around. It's just like I had this video today. Somebody left a comment saying that the music sucked in the video that I put up. I'm like, okay, well, which part in particular? Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's such a great feeling. Like I had a small taste of that, like of a short going somewhat, semi-viral. I mean, I don't know, like what's your definition of viral? Because I'm sure your definition is very different from mine, because I don't have experience with it, but I think the only shot I have at like doing something viral is okay. Yeah, that's holy crap. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I have never seen that. The most I had was with that the most I had was with that stop motion short that I did with the target. That one got 36,000 views, and for a while it was doing like 5 to 600 views an hour. And that lasted for about a day, and then it just sort of slowed down. But um, but yeah, I don't even know what it's like three to five. But the problem that I have is like I not a lot of people know about King and Country. And so it's hard to make like relatable. Like the nice thing about painting is you can paint anything and you have such a great like range of things that you do on your channel. I like that you don't just paint like Airfix stuff. You don't just do 172 or 132. You do like everything and you get like 3D models and you do dioramas of smaller figures and like so you have like a great range of stuff and there's a huge market for painting. Yeah, the engaged stuff is yeah, the engaged views is I guess that's different. I came into the YouTube world with this new metric. They don't count every view, they only count engaged views. So an engaged view is like what? Like to watch at least 10 seconds or something? I don't know what that is. I don't know what an engaged view technically is. Yeah, man. More than three. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what engaged views are, but I figured out. So I had completely stopped making shorts because I'm like, well, you don't get any money doing shorts, right? But then I realized, like, well, YouTube actually pushes shorts a lot, and it's a way to get subscribers into your channel. So you kind of have to make shorts. You have to do shorts, and yeah, I would definitely welcome some pointers. Feel free to send that to me an email or share them here, whatever you're more comfortable with. Yeah, that's what I'm starting to realize. I'm starting to realize that shorts are kind of the way to go. So I'm gonna do. I think the only way for me to have something viral, like I'm not gonna go viral with an unboxing video. History in motion. Hi, Larry. History in motion says I'm wondering if I should get Vietnam King Country or Bulge Figs. Oh well, that's a question right there, my friend. Long format is harder because people have to make a choice to watch, and it's hard. Yeah. Uh, they say it's hard to get people to focus, and they say that like if you have, for example, if you have like a 40-minute long video, YouTube cares more about average watch duration because they can push more ads in that time frame. So sometimes even if your retention is not fantastic, if your retention is like 20% or 15%, if you're getting like 8 minutes or something, yeah. How long are your shorts usually though? Because and I'll get to I'll answer your question, history and motion, about Vietnam and bulge figures. I can actually show you some I can show you some figures that I have, some a Battle of the Bulge figures. Yeah, 60 seconds. So if your short is 60, so there's a different metric that is applied. What I've learned, at least what ChatGPT tells me, and what I've kind of seen in Google searches is if your video is over 30 seconds for a short, it's more forgiving about watch duration. If it's less than 30 seconds, it cares about watch duration a lot more. Like that short that I had with the stop motion, the short that I had with stop motion, that one had like a 98% watch duration. And it was like trending up slowly, and then it started kind of coming down. Um, but that was very short. It was only 23 seconds, right? So it's harder to skip a 23-second video than a 60-second video. So, but if you're getting 65 to 70% on a 60-second video, that's pretty good considering that people that watch shorts have a very low attention span. So, people, I mean, I might like, I look at myself as an example. Like when I watch shorts on YouTube, I'm just like, what is this? Okay, pass. What is this? Okay, pass. So it's like you really have to find your audience. You can't just, so you have to find, so that's why I think for me, I'm not gonna go viral doing unboxings because that's just not an interesting enough subject matter. It's just like pulling a toy out of a box. Like unless I'm like the funniest guy on the planet, somebody that does a really good job with that is that guy, Daily Plastic. I don't know what he's doing and what god he's worshiping, but he gets insane amounts of views on his videos. I don't know what his watch duration is, but he gets like almost every video that he makes is like a viral hit almost. Some of his videos have like two, 300,000 views, and you know, yeah. So History in Motion, yeah, James, I noticed that he has like another following, so I think that's where he picked up a lot of the views. He has like a Lego channel I found before, so I think that's where he picked that up. And it looks like he really figured out the formula of how to do voiceovers on the camera and how to do the content, the pacing. He's just got a really good sense for it. I use him as a role model because he does like some similar stuff with unboxing. Yeah, he definitely knows the formula. The Bulge series soldiers are awesome. The King Country Bulge, Battle of the Bulge stuff is phenomenal. I can't say enough good stuff about it. The figures are top notch. The quality is really good. I'll show you some of the guys that I have, um, and some of the guys that I recently opened up, unboxed, and you can see why they're so awesome. I'm going to show them on the unboxing camera. So here's some examples of Battle of the Bulge figures. And these guys I already have. Let me just bring the chat machine over. The chat machine, so I can see the comments. The comments is. Um, so here we have some Americans. Oh, hold on. Nope. You're looking at something else. You're not seeing the unboxing camera because there's no unboxing camera. Here we go. And let me get a couple more Deuterinos here. Some of the nicer guys. Here we go. I'll show you some Battle of the Bulge figures, and then I have a handful of Vietnam figures that I could show you. Um, but yeah, Battle of the Bulge has a great amount of variety. They have just a fantastic amount of variety, and I love the greatcoat look. These like winter greatcoats are really fantastic. Here's a guy like they have such a huge variety of like the kneeling shooting guy. Like you think this pose would have been figured out already, but like they just have so many different ways to portray this. I just love like the BARs that they make, the Garands. They just look you just look like you could just pick this Garand up and fire it, you know. And here's a German. The Germans have a great amount of detail here as well, and huge amounts of variety, really. This is I unboxed these guys in the last video, and these guys are just awesome. I love that. This is that classic German field green or gray, field gray uniforms with the whitewashed helmets, a little bit of dirt on there, like really cool. And then a couple more. Here's a BAR guy, American BAR guy. So yeah, so they're definitely really diverse number of sets. And let me show you some Vietnam guys. Yeah, the weathering. I really think they really did a great job with the Battle of the Bulge. I don't know how they determine like who paints their guys, but some lines seem to just have much better detail, much better, you know, like um, colors and washing, and they use a broader range of techniques. I'm not sure how. I think this guy, I forgot the name of the guy that sculpts these, but they have one guy that they call on to do a lot of these sculpts, and he does a fantastic job. I think he also did a lot of the paratrooper models. Like this is, I just got this one recently. This one, you see this one unboxed in my video from earlier today. And this one is super rare. And I really like the detailing here with the on the bag and just like the cloth looks very clothy. And the BAR is just fantastic looking. All the details on this on the colors. There's mud on the boots. This is a DD215, I believe. So this is like sort of the later DD sets. And they're highly detailed. They're very nice. Um, and yeah. So hold on. So you're saying, Adam, you're saying the painting is done in Hong Kong, or it used to be at least when they were Del Prado. What are you saying here? Are you saying that King Country used to be Del Prado? Are you saying that King Country bought Del Prado? Are you saying that they're using the same people that painted the Prado figures? Do tell me more. Well, I have a sip of apple juice. Wait, so King Country was Del Prado? My mind just blew up. My mind literally just blew up. Hi, Larry. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, I see. So they were like a subcontractor or a contractor for Del Prado? Because I tried to research what happened to Del Prado, and the trail kind of stops cold when somebody tried to acquire them. Hi, Thomas. Thanks for joining me, man. Appreciate your support. I definitely will do Pacific stuff. Absolutely. It's just been one of those things where I kind of got caught up in doing paratroopers, and I just actually, you missed it. I unboxed a Marine, and I'll show you on the unboxing camera just now. The Irish apple juice comment. Yes, of course. Scottish apple juice. Uh, History in Motion. Yes, the Battle of the Bulge are great. The set that I would recommend you start with is the cheapest one you can find on eBay. I started, ironically, the very first Battle of the Bulge set that I got was actually BBA 001, which I'll show you what set that is. And I didn't know that was 001. It just happened to be that set. Um, and it's these guys here. I'll show you on the camera. We have a radio guy that's kind of lying down. This is BBA 001 right here. I highly recommend that you label your soldiers. That way you know if they belong together. And then this guy here is a prone rifleman. This guy here is panicking about stuff. And then the Tommy gunner right here. This is the first set of Battle of the Bulge that I got. And ironically, or not ironically, but coincidentally, it was BBA 001. So, and the only reason that I got this set was because they were the cheapest that I found at the time. So, quick, quick PSA for anybody that wants to collect King Country miniatures. Oh, let me show the Marine real quick. The person that was asking about the Pacific. Um, so this is the Marine that I unboxed. I figured so this is USMC 061, and so uh, I have plans to get Marines and Japanese guys because I want to do some stop motion stuff with Marines and Japanese guys. And so going back to, yeah, I mean, I would start with again, like I think I would, if you have a specific Battle of the Boat set, we could look it up. We could look it up, and I could. Why don't we just go to eBay? You know, let's just go to eBay, and we'll just look at some stuff, man. So King and Country BBA. This is how I shop. Okay, so I'll tell you what's a good deal and what isn't a good deal. Yeah, the Marine figures actually look really cool. All right, four-man patrol, four-man patrol. Let's see, BBA patrol. Is it this guy? Is it these guys? BBA 100? Uh, so let's see. Is this one retired? Let's find that out. Um, King and Country BBA 100. So what I do is I go to Sager Soldiers here and I look and see if they're retired. Oh, yeah, that's my apple juice that I'm currently drinking. This is apple juice. It's not, I don't know what a Corona is. I'm drinking apple juice, sparkling apple juice. So it's not retired. So then this is what I would tell you. Buy it from Sager Soldiers. I'm not affiliated with them. But if you buy it at Sager's, you won't pay for delivery. So this is not really like a hot tip or anything. This is pretty obvious. If you spend Yeah, I know, right? They're so incredibly outdated, but this is my only source of truth. See, look at Operation Toybox website, for example. This is the website that I made. No, I made this myself by hand. Hand coded it. Hey, thanks, Thomas. Nice meeting you, man. Appreciate your support. Uh, so my attempt with this, and this is a work in progress with this website, is I want to catalog all the sets, basically. Because one of the things that I don't get from, like, when I'm looking this up, for example, I don't get like a thing of history, right? I just get like a little blurb here about what the set is. Yeah, well, if you design a website and you need someone to build it, you let me know because I can build websites. Um, and so what I wanted to do is, like, for example, if I um, so let's see, let's look at all the king country sets. So if I want to learn something about a set, and I've only started cataloging D-Day right now, D-Day figures, and I have a couple Napoleonics. But and then I want some history context about the set. Like I also include like my own unboxing videos on here. And then I add like history pieces. I add like something about history and then I add some links where you can find it on eBay if you're interested in the set. Um, and to answer your question, history in motion, you buy the sets that not only, so this is going to be weird because like not only do you want sets that are so here for example this set right here. So the way that I look at it is I look at it through the lens of how many dollars am I paying per model, and are the models usable models? What I mean by that is it a tank rider, meaning is it in a sitting position? So like I'll show you an example of a tank rider. This is a tank rider, for example. This model can't stand by itself, right? It has to sit on something, okay? So this to me is not as valuable a figure because it becomes an accessory to the vehicle. So I don't find this figure very interesting. Um, when I look at a set like this, which is $75, and you get this is BBA 001. It is a retired set, but you get it's $75 for four figures. So you're paying less than whatever 75 divided by 4 is, right? Which is less than $20 per figure. So if you can pull that if you can pull that off, then that's a good deal. If you can stay like an amazing deal is sub $20 per figure for King and Country. Web browser is blocking the view of the Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, totally forgot. Yeah. Let me real quick show what a tank rider is. So this is a tank rider model. This is a model that can only sit somewhere. It can only sit on a tank. Now they have their use in like stop motion, right? I use them in stop motion. They have a use for, but it itself is not a usable, what I call a quote unquote usable model. I can't do anything with this. It can't sit on it can't stand by itself. There are tank riders that are kind of like in a prone position. Like, oops. I'll show you, for example, I have some DD figures, some paratroopers, like these guys. These are technically tank riders, but they can stand on their own. They have enough touch points on the ground where they can stand on their own. So this I consider a usable model. So this is a full value model in my opinion. I don't like models that can't stand on their own. I don't consider that a good deal. So yeah, you find deals where you're looking at per model kind of you want to stay below. Oh, yes. All right, he has to go. That's fine. But yeah, so for anyone that's interested in eBay stuff, always look for per price, per model price. That's the best way that I shop. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of found I just simplified the way that I think about it, and it's a kind of very oversimplified way of thinking, but it allowed me to look at models and say like, and then also like, what is it worth to me? Like these guys here, and then auctions. Auctions are another great way to pick up figures. Like this is a set I would want, for example, but this is 42.50 per figure right here. Plus you have a $10 delivery. If this is not a retired set, this set right here, BBAO 97, if this is not a retired set, I would buy it from Sagers. At least I save on the shipping cost, right? That's at least one way to save. Otherwise, I wouldn't buy this. I wouldn't buy like I have held out like that DD 215 figure that I showed you guys. I would have held out until hell froze over. I would not have paid the $140 that because that was selling for King and Country DD 215. See, right now it's listed for 65, but for the longest time, and I knew that this was listed for 65, and I still wouldn't buy it at this price. But this was, oh, look, Tank Riders. Boom. This is a Tank Rider. Now you could technically use these, but look, the rifle barrel is snapped off. Plus, they are Tank Riders. This is not worth $55. This guy's gonna have a hell of a time selling these guys. This is just never gonna work. Um, so this model, DD215, was on sale for $140 for a month straight, and I refused to buy it even though I really wanted it. And then, as luck would have it, I saw the paratrooper lot that was being sold, and I was able to pick up that model plus another 20 figures for like $300. Yeah. So not only did I get that figure, yeah, exactly. You use them for auxiliary purposes. The only downfall with buying them, super cheap, a lot of times you can't. I have found like incredible deals where I found super, super rare figures at $30 per model, mint in box with the original box for like $30 a piece, which is super hard to find. But once in a great while, you will come across something like that. Um, but some people, like collectors that know the value of figures, will sell them for what they're actually worth. So, it kind of sucks to say this, but like you stay away from those, right? Like you want to buy from people that kind of don't know what they're worth. But it's eBay, right? Like you're just trying to get the best deal. So that's how I was able to build my collection. So buying bulk, buying an auction, and looking at price per figure. That's the entire formula for eBay. That's how you got to look at it. That's all of it. So there's lots of other sets that I'm really interested in getting. I have this set right here. I just haven't unboxed it, and I got it for cheaper than this. I think I have this guy. I haven't unboxed it. I have this guy. I haven't unboxed it. I have this guy already unboxed. Have, don't have, just haven't unboxed. Yeah, I have these guys. I don't have this one. I really want this one, but I'm not paying 95 for it. Kind of a bummer. Kind of a bummer. Oh, looks like my camera is dying over here. Let me plug it in. This I'm actually using my using my phone as a camera. My backup phone, I should say, as a camera. Plug this in before my camera dies here. Yeah, so that's how you do YouTube. Look at this. Look at this one. The Resistance, Free French Resistance Girl. These figures are very interesting. Did you guys know, by the way, that Thomas Gunn and King Country has released new figures? Bet you didn't know that. Check this out. Or maybe you did, I don't know. But they released Classic Germans, which are some of my absolute favorites. They released these guys. Six new figures, or six new sets, I think. Two two-man teams and four single figures. Um, and I have them on the way as we speak. All right, James. Have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping by. Awesome. Yeah. So this is these guys are really awesome. I can't wait to see them. They're on the way. I think I picked up this set and I picked up this guy sitting down, this guy prone, the standing guy, I think, and I picked up this set here of this guy reloading and that guy aiming. Really like these. Wehrmacht soldiers are really hard to find. Really hard to find. They're very expensive on eBay. Like if you look up King and Country WH, that's the designation. They're most of them are retired, sold out, and very rare. So they're really hard to find. Yeah, they're all kind of floating around that $50 to $60 price point, and there is not a lot of auctions for these. The auctions that I see the most are like paratroopers and Marines. And the only way that I'm going to expand my Marines collection is by doing like an auction, where I buy like an entire lot of Marines because otherwise, and actually I don't think that the Marines are very expensive, relatively speaking. I think a lot of the Marines you can get, so you can pick up a lot of these guys in an auction. Like never buy them individually unless you can find a good deal. Like this one here is not a bad deal. It's 35, but you got the $9 delivery, which is not fantastic. Um, and then Sager's Soldiers probably has um, let's see, safe sellers. Let's go to um, yeah, there it is. Again, the free shipping is unbeatable. So if you want to buy new figures, things that are still in production, figures that are still in production, buy them from Sagers. Even if you buy them at King and Country, you have to pay a shipping fee. Although King Country does offer free shipping on orders of $250 or more, but on orders of 100 or more, you get free shipping with Sagers. Plus, King Country is in Hong Kong, so you might have to pay additional tariffs. So that's also not great. shipping costs and whatnot. But yeah, so if you want new sets, you get them at Sager's. And so I would look here at so I would look at USMC here, United States Marine Corps, and if they're not retired, or even if they are retired, right? I would try to pick them up here because you at least save on a delivery. So yeah, the Marine Corps figures are great. I definitely want to get more of them. It's just I almost picked up a lot of 20 figures, I think. It was last month. They were for sale. And it was either that or getting a lot of paratroopers, and I had to do the paratroopers because it was and this guy is the one that does. I'll show you guys the seller that does a lot of auctions of giant lots of stuff. Let me see if I have him saved. I'm pretty sure I have him saved. Let's see. His name is like Tans or something. Why am I not finding it? I saved it. No. Let's see. Well, I'm not finding him right now. Yeah, his name is like Five Tans or something. I thought I had saved him as a seller, but you'll see him do lots. He does them about once a month. You'll see lots that pop up, usually of Marine Corps paratroopers, um, and that's mostly what I see. I mostly see paratroopers and Marine Corps guys, and the paratrooper lots also include Thomas Gunn figures, which I'm also a huge fan of. It's just Thomas Gunn isn't as readily available as King Country figures, and even though they have, the quality is almost identical with both of them. I think they have sort of like some sets Thomas Gunn does better, some sets King Country does better. Have a sip of my apple juice here. What I was super thrilled about is picking up this guy. Yeah, right here. Super rare paratrooper. And also this one, DD216. Super thrilled for this one. And then also this one here. Yep, right there. I love this guy. I put him in the thumbnail of my last video. And then also this guy. Fun fact, this dude's rifle was broken off and I used some JB Weld to put it back on. And somebody had recommended that in the comments. Worked really well. It instantaneously stuck once I applied the UV light. It's a light activated glue. It was like moving around, and then I hit it with the light, and boom, it was frozen in place instantly. It's actually kind of crazy. I didn't think that it would work that way, but I've never used light activated glue before. Another collection that I expanded on greatly was these guys, the Waffen, the SS guys, the Hitler Youth SS guys. These guys are from a newer range of models, and the detail is absolutely amazing. They also have, some very intricate camouflage patterns, and um, so they look really, really cool. The figures, not the SS. Let's be very clear about that. I just like the toy soldiers. They have some very interesting weapons. The Hitler Youth. Yeah. Um, I read an interesting fact, or actually, I dug into this a little bit. I was curious because I found out that the SS, so most of the SS divisions, like specifically the 12th SS Panzer Division in World War II, was primarily comprised of teenagers and foreigners. And basically, what that meant was most of the and the majority was teenagers, was soldiers as young as 15 years old were in these divisions. And oh, nice to see you back. History in motion. And so most of the soldiers in the SS divisions were Hitler Youth, and it got me thinking. I'm like, so if most of the soldiers were teenagers and they had such catastrophic casualty rates, for example, the 12th SS Panzer Division lost after their sort of the first offensive into Normandy. They lost at the end of the Normandy campaign, rather. It was the infantry division had I'm gonna screw up this number. I think they had 12,000 men, something like that, and they lost 8,000 men at the end of the Normandy campaign. So, and the vast majority of those, please fact check me on this, but the vast majority of these men were teenagers. I can't even call them men. They were 15, 16, and 17-year olds. And they said the casualties were so high because they were so incredibly reckless in battle. And because they're young and inexperienced and extremely reckless. And they were fanatical. They were fanatical about Hitler. So as a result, they lost a vast majority of their men. And then I said, well, if most of these were teenagers, that means that a lot of them didn't really have families. A lot of them didn't have offspring. They didn't have children, which meant that they could never go back to, and the way population works is, right, like if you kill a family line at some point and there's no offspring, you chop off that entire tree of ancestry. And building props for history, for King Country, yes, it is possible, and there's a cheap way to do it. Depends on what kind of props you want. I'll show you some examples. I built a few. Um, so basically, so the long story made short is that Germany now has 10 million less people because of that, because so many teenagers died before fathering offspring that it basically crippled their population curve onward beyond World War II. It was that devastating of a loss that it affected them up to into today. So talking about building props, let me show you a couple that I have, and I'll show you some cheap ways that you can achieve props. So one cheap way to make props, as always, is cardboard. The nice thing about cardboard is that you can cut it into whatever you want and make it whatever scale you want. Another way is to go to your local hobby store. Again, this depends on what kind of props you want. And to just buy, and let me move the camera again. Sorry, remove the browser so you can see what I'm showing you on the camera. This is the building that I showed in my Battle of the Bulge unbox, or yeah, Battle of the Bulge unbox. This is a building that I made out of cardboard and popsicle sticks, and it's just like a little church type building. The windows ended up being a little bigger than I wanted them, and so I basically just, you can see the inside of it is my old Yeti microphone box, and so I just glued all the pieces in, and then I just gave it like a kind of like a washy color, and this is still some of that snow stuff that's left over. These little pieces of wood here are just like is like this kind of stuff here. I had these. This is like, you can get this at your local hobby store very cheap. These are just like little wood chips. And so you can, I made a roof that way. And yeah, it's just cardboard. It's just little pieces of cardboard and glue. And that's all that's keeping this together. And it's pretty sturdy. It's pretty sturdy. And it still has the snow sprayed onto it. So if you don't want to build stuff, um, if you don't want to build stuff, you can buy pre-built wooden houses. And this is just about the right scale. Okay, if you look at the soldier here. Now it's not as functional as something that you would build yourself, like this porch isn't usable here, but the scale kind of works, right? The scale works okay. This right here, this building right here is $7, and it comes as just wood, and I just painted it with some brown paint, and I did a little bit of like very light highlighting here. And then I glued some of this fake moss on there to kind of show. I could have gone a step further and glued some of those shingles in here to make it look like the other house, but I just didn't have the time. I sprayed it with a base coat of black, and then I just did some dry brushing over it to highlight some of the raised points. And this wasn't meant to be like some masterpiece. It's just meant to be a background, a background piece. Yeah, the snow spray. Let me show you what that is. It's this stuff right here. It's called snow blower, and it comes out like shaving cream almost, but it like spits it out, so it like turns into like foamy kind of stuff. Turns into like crumbs almost flying out. Um, I'd use this, but I'd have to like shake it for like a minute straight for that to. But when it dries, it just turns into dust when it dries out. So like you can see, I brushed some of it off. It turns into flour basically. So I still got to clean this off a little bit more, but yeah, that's what this is. And this snow spray I got at Hobby Lobby. It's a winter. It's like they have this available whenever they have like the Christmas decorations are out. And yeah, another thing you can do for decorations. I'll show you some of the other stuff that I've built. This is a cardboard with sticks, and I actually picked up some dirt outside. I mixed it with glue and brown paint to create mud like this. And then, so the base is just a piece of cardboard, and I could have done a better job hiding the edges here. I just kind of did it quickly. And then while this mud is soft, you put the sticks in, you put some rocks in like this. You get some of this bush stuff, this like bush clumps of bush and then clumps of grass. What you do is you take a brush and you paint some glue on the base and you sprinkle the grass over it, and that's how you get like patches of grass. And you can do like moss on some of these pieces, and the stuff just is very brittle, so like if you squeeze it, pieces of it will fall off. So that's another example of a cheap way to do this. And then I also did like a sandbag position. This actually cracked. I have to fix it. But I did like a sandbag position here, again on a base of cardboard. Cardboard does not work well for this, so I've kind of learned my lesson on this. I'm not going to use cardboard going forward. But I made these sandbags out of this stuff here. This is going to be hilarious. It's this air dry clay stuff that you can buy again at a hobby store. And you can just mold the little sandbags and just they stick together. Yeah. Yeah, you just really spray you can spray that stuff and now what I actually used for the base was this foam material. I don't know what this foam material is called, but they use it for like mattresses and stuff and for like bedding. But this is that foam material that I used for the base for like a snow-covered base. And the nice thing about this is that you can kind of peel layers off of it, so you can have like a thinner layer like this. And because if it's too thick, the soldiers won't stand on it because it's too bouncy. It acts almost like a trampoline. And then you can spray the spray, like I sprayed the that snow stuff on like rocks and the buildings to give it like that snow-covered feeling. Yeah, so there's lots of cheap ways to get around stuff. You don't have to buy because the sets and um, the buildings and terrain pieces that you can get from King Country are extremely expensive. Some of that stuff is like, $100 to $200 or $300. It's just too much. You can't. They're great for like dioramas, but like if you want, more dynamic set pieces, you really have to get creative. Yep. So lots of different ways to get around it. Now, are you interested in doing like stop motion, or are you just trying to like build dioramas and stuff? Yeah, so if you're just doing dioramas, and if you have a limited budget, I would just build the sets. And I mean, the biggest tip I would give you is to have a vision of what you want to create. Because if you don't know what you're trying to create with dioramas, then you're gonna spend a lot of money and not know what you're doing. I would pick a specific thing you want to recreate and then find the cheapest way to recreate it. So as far as the figures, find auctions, find partials that you can buy. If you don't care about the original box, just buy pieces, loose pieces that are without the boxes. So that'll get you some cheaper models. And then envision the scene that you want to build, and then try to find ways to build it yourself. You can literally build anything with cardboard. You can buy acrylic paints, which are very cheap. Like I use the cheapest acrylic paint that you can find. It's like you get a little bottle like this for like $1.99. Here, I'll show you. I've almost gone through this entire brown bottle. But this is $1.99. Here's red for like mixing and highlights and things like that. But yeah, you just find some cheap paints. Cardboard is pretty much free. I mean, everyone has cardboard lying around, and you just get some pieces of wood, or you can cut some pieces of wood yourself. Just don't cut off your fingers, and just build whatever you want. If you want to build like if you want to build some houses, just cut some rectangles. Just kind of get a sense of like how big the doors should be and stuff like that. So if you want vehicles, it'll be more costly because you can't really make vehicles out of cardboard. But you can get broken vehicles for very cheap. And that's, speaking relatively, because there's no such thing as a cheap King Country vehicle. You can get, if you're not too much of a stickler about scale, you can get Ultimate Soldier vehicles, which they do make 132 scale tanks and all kinds of vehicles in 132 scale. and you can use those as your scenes. Like I'll show you. I have a couple of tanks. Um, I'll show you kind of the difference. So this is a 132 scale Panzer IV right here. This is made by Ultimate Soldier, and looking at the scale compared to, they're a little bit small, right? But they still kind of work. You can still make it work. The difference is this is like $20 to $30, whereas a King and Country tank is $300. You know, so you just got to pick your battle. And then King and Country does make this tank here that you can use for your diorama, and this is worth only like $60. And this is made by King and Country, but it's like a cheaper type of plastic. It's a cheaper kind of model, but it's the right scale. It's the 130 scale. So you can see the scale is correct when we look at the soldier. So this you can use. You can whitewash it a little bit, or you can spray it with that stuff, and it'll just brush off anyway. So it's not going to damage the vehicle because it just dries into like a fine powder. So you can do that. Imagining a field of snow at the top with trees, the top left corner, patrols, resting soldiers. Then as you go more right, becomes bigger skirmish, charging Germans, maybe even a Sherman and a Panzer. Yeah, I think that's a fantastic scene. That's a great scene. You can get some of that cheap foam stuff for your underlay. So I would start with the base, and then you can use trees. The Ardennes had a lot of trees, obviously. You can find on Amazon, you can find, because even the model trees are very expensive. This is something that I got recently, and I got it. I didn't get it in time for my winter diorama. But here's my box of like winter stuff. These trees here are available at your local hobby store, and these were like what were they? These are $8 a piece, so they're not super cheap. But then I found these, and this is a Christmas decoration. But these are phenomenal for that kind of decor. Let me pop one open here, and I'll show you because they're adjustable. These branches are adjustable. So you can really pop them out and they really give off that winter vibe. And the scale is not too bad, you know? So you can kind of make that work. Uh, and I got these trees as well, which I sprayed with that white stuff. And so that gave them this kind of wintry look and feel. This is fairly cheap. These guys, I think, were only $5 a piece. So you can get some of these. I was lucky the day that I went to buy these. I had they had a 50% off sale for on Christmas decor. So yeah, yeah, no, that's I think with diorama you have that freedom to depict multiple things happening. I don't think that would be I don't think it would be off base to say that in one part of the diorama the soldiers are resting and then another part they're fighting. I think that's totally fine. You can have that happen. And so, yeah, so if that's your goal, then the bulge line is definitely what you want to do. The bulge is definitely what you want to do because they have such a great variety of like resting soldiers. I actually have more soldiers, and I think I might actually unbox one because I don't have the. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna unbox. This is a BBA 104. Because you're talking about resting soldiers. So let's open this up here. So this is a Battle of the Bulge Americans. Let me move some of these boxes here. So I had a similar idea to you in that I wanted to depict sort of a Christmas kind of a scene. So and these are brand new in box right now. So I'm opening these for the first time. I've never seen these guys. And this is these guys are eating. He's serving some soup over there. That looks tasty, huh? Wonder what's in there. Remember that part? I'm sure you guys have seen Band of Brothers. You remember that part when Sink comes back to the front line and he goes, "I was just settling down to some whiskey and hooch at Battalion HQ. But damn it, if I didn't like old Joe Domangus's rancid ass beans." So here he is. He's getting some beans. And so these guys were paratroopers, obviously, stuck in Bastogne. But yeah, so this was going to be part of my. What is this here? There's another piece here. Oh, look, it's a lid. Oh man, that's funny. They even have a lid here. Where would I even put this? I don't know where I would put this lid. It's so funny that they included that. That's so weird. Okay. Well, there you go. BBA 104. Probably uh, Joe Dominguez, Joe Dominguez or whatever, whatever the cook's name is in Easy Company. 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment. There you go, BBA 104. Awesome. Gonna have to catalog it and bag it. Cool. Yeah. So that's that. And I had another one, I think. I think I had another one. Did I? Oh yeah. I have a German as well. BBG 081. Let's open this guy up too while we're at it. Yeah, so you could have a scene like this, right? These guys could be out back eating, and in the sense of the diorama, you could basically, you kind of have freedom of you kind of get some license with oh yeah, this is the officer. Yeah, come out of here. Can't get this guy out. I will not come. Oh yes, you will. Come on. I don't want to grab him by the weapon because it's fragile. I'll pull him out by his foot. Here we go. BBG 081. This is the officer kneeling in the snow. He's got his MP40 at the ready right there. He's got his sidearm Luger. Some additional magazine pouches right there. Yeah, awesome. Look at the detail on the face here. That's really really fantastic. He's got like a 5 o'clock shadow going there. Awesome. Yep. There you go. He's like, "Can I have some stew too? We're hungry. The Führer won't feed us. All they give us is rotten potatoes." Oh man. Yeah. So that's a little Battle of the Bulge box there. While they're enjoying some stew. Yep. So lots of little dioramas you can do. I'm planning to do a Vietnam diorama very soon. I'm gonna do a Vietnam unboxing, Vietnam soldiers, and I will probably do a couple shorts as well on that. I have some ideas for some stop motion shorts that I want to do. So that's going to be a lot of fun to do. I love stop motion stuff. Do you guys, so, do you have your own channel or are you just kind of interested in collecting? She's not here anymore. All right, well, I think it's getting rather late, so I think I'm going to call it here. Thank you everyone for showing up. Thank you for chatting with me, hanging out. This was kind of a impromptu. There was no agenda here. We just wanted to talk about toy soldiers, and so but I'm happy that we got to do some unboxings. And yeah, so if you enjoyed it, definitely hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff, all that good YouTube stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the flip side. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for showing up. All right, History in Motion. I'll check out your channel. I may have subscribed to you already, but I'll definitely I'll check it out. But Adam, History in Motion, everybody else, thanks for showing up. Appreciate it, and have a good night.